Welcome, LICR community. I'm Judy, and I'm here with a few other co-founders, Dan, Ashley, Monica, and Chris. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm excited to introduce Jade Alicia, who is a community outreach consultant, who's going to share more about her background, what she does, how she got into research. So, Jade, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much for allowing me in this platform. It's truly an honor to be with Latinos in clinical research, Mr. Guru here, Monica. I have been a fan for some time, and I carry your book like a Bible, Dan, okay? So
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we're excited
Hey,
about
guys.
this one too. Dr. Al, welcome.
How are you guys? Long time no
Hello.
talk.
Hey, Dr. Al.
Hello.
Awesome. All right, Jade, we could continue.
well, I came from a healthcare background. I was a social worker for HIV and AIDS patients on Jersey and in New York. So I did a lot of community outreach, and in up north, when you're a case manager, social worker, you're running the street. You're going to jails, homes, projects, everywhere, just to make sure that your clients are taking their medicine, they're okay, they have healthy food, and you're monitoring them. I came to live in Florida thinking that I would do the same, and over here it's not the same. The case managing is not the same. You get a patient and you refer them out, so you never follow through. You don't case manage the patient. So I went into the healthcare system and met a very, very smart OBGYN businesswoman that she also had a clinical research. And I went there, managed her office, and started working for her for many years. Soon found out that every time that she would have some type of trial, I would find myself in the streets looking for patients or recruitment, and I really like that community service. I like the way that I was able to educate them, because there was no people that I just went into the offices or any place. I would ask them, would you like to be in a research? And they didn't know. They didn't know how to get in. So I was able to be an educator in that aspect. Long story short, after many years of being with her, I was able to go into a healthcare system through ACO, and I was able to find an opportunity with an investor that wanted me to help them start a research site. I left the healthcare system and went into the research and looked for a location, helped them start the site. A year into the site that we started, I was able to get communication and get community service and centers to refer patients to us. I was able to do outreach service, get into two large community centers to trust us enough with their patients. I built that relationship. I built the relationship in the community services. I participated in festivals, in carnivals. I went to food banks. I went to community pantries, food distribution centers, in order for them to let me in as a community research worker. And I was able to build a relationship with them, and actually built the referral system from that. I am still involved in handing out groceries every Tuesday in the community. I'm from Homestead all the way to West Palm Beach. Every Tuesday I'm in different towns serving the community. So in West Palm Beach, where I opened the site for this investor, I was alone. I had to do it by myself. Actually, I had a lot of help from Dr. Fox. I think that I've called him 50 times. He was my mentor. He guided me through just all the operations, everything that I needed to know. Dan's book helped me a lot. I was able to, from the community, I was able to meet a lot of doctors that were selling furniture and selling equipments, and I was able to get all the equipments and everything by the community, with the community, and because what I did was I took 10 miles around the site that I opened, and I was able to meet all the doctors and specialists on those sites. And I introduced myself as a new site. And from there, we built a relationship. I was meeting them 2 times a week. I was going to their office, finding out how were they doing, bringing Dunkin' Donuts to them, coffee to them, and just letting them know that we were there if they needed to refer someone or they wanted to participate in a research study, because I was looking for PIs myself, and I met a lot of people. Actually, opened the site, managed the site completely, and 9 months into opening the site and startup, I had the SIVs, and we were not awarded the studies because of the non-experienced PI and staff that I had. So I had a large CROs come in, walk through the place, had everything it needed, everything was in place. And when they sent me the reason behind it, it was that we were not experienced enough. Even with the 3,000 patients, it was trusted in order to, go to these community service, and they will refer patients to me. I was not awarded the study because we didn't have the experience. Once that happened, it was time for me to hand over the site to a larger management, in order for them to, I guess, it's who sometimes in the industry, and they had more of a reputation, they had more of a hands-on managing different offices. So it was a better chance for them to get studies with the experience that the management center had. And I finished my contract in June of this year. and I had a good experience. I had wonderful people that I built relationships with. I am in January, I'll open another research site for a doctor, which that one will be that would be united with, you know, Dr. Fox will help me. I will have Ted from MedVector come in order for
doctor?
him to be linked to that research, because I understand that you know, it has to be a united force to make it happen. And you know, I want to be a community health advocate. I want to connect the doctors with research, but I want to be in the community. That's what I want to do. I want to pick up the phone and call the doctors. I want to go out and be giving out food. You know, I made about 50 shirts that I wear one every single day with a different expression, with a different subject. You know, I have a shirt that says "Tap me if you want to be in a study," and I put all of the conditions in that shirt. You know, and my husband will never want to go shopping with me when I'm wearing the shirt. Okay. Because I get a lot of people that will tap me and will start asking me questions, you know.
I was gonna say that that's amazing. That's amazing.
So, you know, I know that community outreach is something that needs to be done more by sites. I understand that sites don't have the funds sometimes, you know. I do know that if you work together, and you know that you're going to have different sites come together to help each other, there can be a solution, and they can be some funds before you start waiting for sponsors to provide any money for whatever you have to do in outreach, you know. I believe that there are ways for you to do outreach without having to wait for a sponsor to give you the green light, because you know what, sometimes they're not worried about what you're doing. You know, you got to do it. You know, they have the trial, you have the site, you have to prove to them that you're out there and that you can have these doctors actually referring patients to you. You know, you're the site, we have the tech, you know, we have a solution to link these physicians that don't want to work like a human mill. They don't want to work and spend their hours in an office. They don't want to work for an ACO that don't care about their health. They're seeing 40, 50 patients a day. They want revenue. They want an exit. They want to do what they love to do, but be able to live their life. You know, I have a doctor that is excited and she's welcoming the new site because she wants to be with her family more. But now that she's somewhere that she's working, you know, 12 hours a day, and then the progress notes and just the coding and just everything that a healthcare system makes you do in order for you to earn a living, it's not quality. Okay, and it is not. I believe that a doctor with a patient for 7-10 minutes is not a visit, and at this time, that's what we're doing. And in order for me to help physicians, in order for me to help the community, in order for me to help the health, to get a better health for these patients, we have to unite these doctors for them not to overwork themselves, and we have the solution. You guys are community. You guys are already doing the outreach work. You guys are doing outreach work. I mean, I see it every day. You're like a commercial, Dan, when in a commercial, for years, I've always had commercial songs that went through my brain and I can't get them out. Like I can sing a lot of commercial songs because they're constantly on a TV. You have to constantly be there for people not to forget you. You have to be there. You have to look around you and see what you have in order for you guys to come together. You had a good question, Judy, 6 months ago in a webinar that you had. And you asked what happens to the patients when the participants go into a research study and the study fails or the patient needs care. What are you going to tell them for them to feel safe to come to you and do the study? Who's going to follow up? Who's going to monitor if they get sick, if they have a cold? What's going to happen? Those are patients that you're going to get from outreach work, not from a referral from a doctor. But you know what? You can link them to any doctor that's willing to provide those services for you, and you can make them feel safe that they're going to be cared for and follow up on. You have to educate the doctors, because I have found out there's so many doctors that don't know how to come in to research. They want to, but they don't know how to do it.
I agree.
They want to, but they don't have the experience. And they want the revenue. They don't want to work as hard, but where do they go to find how to do it? I was able to help an investor. Now I'm able to help any physician that wants to do it. I want to find a home for doctors that are extremely tired and overwhelmed with patients in order for them to give those patients quality care service. Okay. There's patients that I've known that are on medications for 2-3 years because doctors don't get together and find and seek help. Research is there for that. If we speak to the doctors, if we know how to go out into your community, there's going to be doctors that are going to be like, you know what, you're here to save my life. Because they want to join, they want that resource, they want that help. They also want to be able to tell their patients, listen, I have a study. I know that you're on a medication for such a long time. I want to get you out of that medication. I have a study for you, and they're able to do it. And that's exactly what I do. I mean, I'm in healthcare community settings. I participate in food banks. I go to church. I look for every nonprofit organization and I become a commercial. They see me all the time. I'm every Tuesday, there's 200 cars getting groceries. People are starting to recognize me. I go to a shopping center and with my shirt on, and they're like, I know you, you're the one that hands out the food, on Tuesday. They know me, they trust me. Now what I'm able to do is I'm able to get information from any site and just be there and give it to them because they trust me. They know me. It's been a year that I've been doing this, so it is what we have to do for to grow and to find a better solution for health, and to also find a better solution for our physicians that don't know how to find it themselves,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Jade. Sorry to interrupt because you're saying so many important things. And I think that's the issue is that a lot of us want to do this or we're doing some aspect of it, but we're not maybe doing all of that. And it does require a lot of time and investment in your community. And you mentioned a lot of things that actually I'm gonna go back and like look at too and improve on. But I think that's extremely important is how much of that are we able to do in our community or do we have the staff for that? And so one of the questions I did want to ask, because you've mentioned about establishing these relationships with the physicians or organizations. So would you say you being there or visiting like weekly or twice a week, how long did it take until you actually got some kind of more, I don't know, I would say feedback, maybe referrals, or when you got in to talk to the doctor, you got a little closer in that clinic, like, because initially you have to go to the front, you talk to the office manager, and then you have to, how long is that process, would you say that took?
I
Jade,
have
Jade, sorry,
that's
before,
okay.
actually, hi. Thank
Hi,
you so
Monica.
much. Before you answer, thank you so much for such an impressive presentation. And not just that, but absolutely amazed of what you do. Thank you very much
Yes,
for what
100%. Seriously,
you
I'm mind
do.
blown.
Thank
Mind
So,
blown.
yeah, I'm piggybacking on Julie's question. I mean, obviously, within that the same question, I would like also for you to mention how do you actually start that conversation. So, how do you start, and how you maintain, or when do you receive the answer? Just as Julie was asking.
Okay, so what I did was I did my t-shirts, okay, and my t-shirts I wore them every single day, with different themes, and I did I did my flyers that actually, since I was in the healthcare, and since I was in the healthcare and knew how and what is happening in there, okay, and I was a HEDIS coder and a medical record expert with searching for codes just to make the right code, just to put the right codes in order for them to get their capitation or their bonus. It's hard work. So since I know the healthcare system, I was able to speak to the doctors of what they want to hear. And that's less work, better quality, because they don't go into the medical field to give a crappy visit to a patient, or a 7-minute visit to a patient because the other one is waiting for them, or because they're in a ACO that investors they own it and they want their money in return, and so they're working and seeing 38, 40 patients a day, which it's a lot. It is a lot. So I go in and I made my flyers pinpointing what I know that they're sick of, the quality of service, the quality of care that they're providing to their patients. Almost all of the doctors that I have gotten in touch with hate the fact that they're in there 10 minutes and they got to be out to the next one. They don't want to be administrators, because they've become actually administrative now. They have to prepare a long progress note and make sure that they know the codes, that they know what to do, you know, and they're constantly being watched over. So I prepared flyers with the right wording for physicians to understand that this is something that it will interest them and will allow them for the time that they need with their patients and the help that they need for their patients when they don't know what else to do because the patient needs more than the medication that they've given them. You know, they're like completely, they don't know where to go. And half of the time I have gotten a feedback or they've called me. One took about 3 weeks of me going and going. And finally, the doctor said, you know what, when she comes back, I want to see her. 3 weeks. It took one. And that was one of the main doctors, not all the other doctors that were in the system. And because they were in an ACO, they were not allowed to participate because they're not owners, they're salaried employees. You know, however, that's a doctor that is willing to move to another center by an owner that if they're willing to have a home for them, you know, and they're willing to make that site, that practice, a site as well, then those are doctors that are willing to transfer when they finish their contract, you know. So I had a conversation with 3 or 4 in West Palm Beach that were like, you know, I'm in a non-compete, I have a contract right now, and as soon as it's finished, if you know of any doctor that has a research connection, then let me know. Okay, every time you go into a center, you would have to know whether they're in an MCO, an ACO, if they're allowed, if they have autonomy to make their own decisions, because not all of them do, you know, but there is a way. And as you, once you go and once you get that attention from a doctor, you have to take it and you have to speak to them in reference to, you know, in reference to what you know, and that's giving them a better system with you providing the research and the trials, them providing the patients that they think that qualify and that are in need of the medication, you know, and a better and more in a revenue. There could be, you know, a way of them providing for themselves instead of being attached to a system that they don't have the time and they don't want to be there either. So you know, it took me, I had 4 at this moment. I have 4 waiting. One is in now another doctor starting that I may have a office that can do research. Okay, the others are just, they have to wait it out. Their contracts have to end in order for them to start, but they're really interested, you know, and so you have to be aware of, 1, where you're going, 2, if they're in an ACO, if they have the autonomy to make the decisions. And the flyers, I can actually do them for you. You know, we can talk about it. It's just a matter of adding, you know, putting their the expressing to them that, you know, they're in to give their patients quality care. You know, they're in to give their patients quality care. They have to provide themselves a life that they want to live, not something that another, you know, an ACO or managed care is, you know, having them work so long and so many hours. So,
Hey, Jade.
you know, it takes it sometimes. Yeah.
Jade, I had a question for you.
Hi, doctor.
You were talking about those flyers. Can you tell us how many languages you put those flyers in?
Oh, 3. I put them in, I had Spanish, Creole, English, almost Japanese, but I didn't get there because the community health care that I wanted to get in, they were like not so into research. But Creole, Spanish, and English was a main, those flyers were always in that. And I knew that if I was in West Palm Beach, where I hand out the groceries, I would put on the shirt that's English in the back and Creole in the front, because they're the majority patients are from Haiti, you know, and or French, and so it was something that I knew. All of my stops, I know what to wear. You know, in my Miami community center, I wear English and Spanish. You know, and they're able to see the what I'm there. So difference to doctors, there's many. You would have to just go out into the area that you are around and go in and speak to them. You know, they're open for that. It's just that nobody knocks at the door to give them that information. You know, reps go in all the time to, you know, give them information about whatever they're having. I'm like a rep. I go into every office. I don't care what it is. I have an attorney that's an immigrant attorney, you know, that she's a good friend of mine now, you know, that in the community center that I participate in, that's a population of immigrants right now, you know, and those patients, if they do have a visa and they have insurance, they can see a doctor. However, the wait at this moment in those 2 community centers are 3 to 4 months a visit. Just imagine if I can get doctors to participate in research, those patients could actually see them, you know, and they don't even need a health care insurance. They can get their labs, they can get their you know, physical, they can get checked by a doctor, and they won't even need to wait online, wait 3 months, or even use an insurance. So
Jade, I have so many questions for you. First of all, when you create these flyers, do you do it for the patients or do you do them for the doctors?
I did them for the doctors.
Okay. Then the
My
second thing is,
first flyers were for PIs. I
okay,
was looking for PIs.
okay. And now these flyers, you said you do it in different languages, right?
Yeah.
As we know, like targeting the different communities, it also requires different kind of approach. do you change the approach in every single language, or is the same approach?
No, it's the same approach, whether it's French, Spanish, English, German. It's the same approach because, you know, when you get to know these doctors, they're all in the same situation.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And then the second thing is, once you start leaving the flyers and all of that, what's your next step?
What I like to do is I take the cards when I go and visit a doctor's office. I make sure that I take all their business cards. And I go into LinkedIn and I see who's in LinkedIn and who's not. And I have come across 3 doctors in LinkedIn that I've messaged and they've answered me. And because of that reason, they're interested, you know. Unfortunately, they're in a contract. We can't do anything about it, but they have the information.
Okay, now the next question is, once let's say, for example, they are interested, they are aware of the prospect of working in research, and the biggest challenges, besides that they are linked to a contract, what would that be the other challenges that you have foreseen? Like, for example, some doctors sometimes are scared to refer patients because they might think that the patients are gonna be taken over, right, from their database or things like that. How do you give them security that this is not going to happen, that the research is not going to be a conflict for the patient? In fact, it's going to be probably another option.
Benefit, yeah, it's a benefit. First of all, the patients trust their doctors. And it's a relationship that you have to build with the doctors. And once the doctors tell the patient that they have a solution or they have options available for these patients that are sick and they are looking for new medication, automatically the patients are going to agree. The doctor, you have to make sure that the doctor has to be aware that you're not a physician and your center's not holding patients, and if you do have a solo site like I had, I made them aware that my site was not retaining any patients. I didn't have that option, and I was strictly a site for research. And I was willing to provide them, all the information in reference to whatever we needed to do together. If they were with me and they refer the patients to me, I would keep them updated with whatever we needed to do with them, so they understood that those patients were not going to be hostaged at any time or taken away from them at all.
Basically, you earn the doctor trust before you earn the patient trust.
Yes, I do want to make a, so sorry. Okay, I wanted to make a comment because all of the things you've said, Jade, not only have they been amazing solutions and honestly just blowing my mind with all of this, but I really love the fact that the different aspects and like directions you've taken, it's also an opportunity for those who, for example, you mentioned like the food bank, right? These are usually areas where people are volunteering or they have, jobs that are, somewhat helping their family, little as it can, right? I mean, this is an opportunity for sites and I mean, anyone really to be able to understand that that's a skill that's transitionable. They have way more way to gauge the community and potential opportunities for these individuals, whether it's for the site saying, hey, we can't find any patient recruiters, or if we do, they don't really have a lot of experience. I mean, you know, as an office manager, as a coordinator, you know, go to these areas. If you're finding it's easy, you can communicate with these individuals, potentially enhance somebody else's life, their family's lives, and, you know, trickle effect, right? The grassroots. This is what everybody talks about. This is a perfect example of that. And then, you know, somebody here in the chat, which will bring up the question now, but they're talking about pharmacy. I mean, right now there's a huge, what's it called? There's like an issue right now in the pharmacies where pharmacists are even feeling like they're not getting paid enough and they're being overworked, and there's no ways for them to kind of stretch out their capabilities. I mean, this is also an opportunity. So just a perfect example as to how far research can really expand the kind of things it can do, and the community working together, and to bring this solution to the forefront. I mean, I know we're going to ask you on the side. Judy's definitely going to have a talk with you, but I just want to let you know you've impressed us so much today. We want to invite you to the SOS conference. We're going to have it February next year. I mean, this is stuff that needs to get shared with everybody. You know, you have so much great, valuable information that honestly, I work at a sponsor. I mean, we all work at different areas, but you know, this is one of the areas where we can all agree is a huge issue, right? We're all trying to figure things out, trying to find different ways. And I mean, I've heard a lot of conversations of people's approaches. This is the first time I've heard some of these types of approaches. I really love it. And I hope, you know, to hear more of this. Thank you.
And I think
You're
I think that everyone should send Jade a t-shirt. I hope that maybe Latinos in clinical research, it's everyone. I
Yes,
can get you a
yes.
CRPN shirt. Let's get
Yeah.
Jen some
Right. And
t-shirts
then
to help
Jade,
her.
maybe you could share one of your t-shirts that you said you have like
Okay.
50 different logos or sayings,
Yes.
because I think
Yeah.
somebody was asking in the comments, they're interested to see what your shirts look
Okay.
like as well.
Okay, I'll take pictures of them.
yeah.
I wear one of the same, but in different colors every single day. So,
Oh, wow.
you know,
It
it
works.
worked. It worked. And it works. And I have right now in a food bank, I have people wearing my t-shirts.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Because
Yeah,
they know me now. So they're like, oh, Jay, give me one of your teachers and I'll wear it when you're not here, you know?
Wow.
So there you go.
or give incentives, help people
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
so many
Jade,
amazing ideas. Wow.
And
no,
actually
you
wanted
earned-
to, oh, sorry,
Okay.
Monica. Because I
ahead.
know me and Jade talked at
Go ahead.
SCRS, so we had this long conversation. But one of the things that stood out to me, and I still think about, is that you had mentioned think outside the box, right? Don't do the typical things we're doing, think outside the box. And one of the things you also mentioned is about going to daycares and speaking with the daycare workers there and the parents. And that's how you were able to recruit for specific studies. And you target all those places. And you had mentioned to me maybe like, don't necessarily always go to the physicians, go to the community, because that's where you're going to recruit from anyways.
Exactly.
So I think that kind of stood out to me ever since we spoke, because I'm kind of very fascinated how we're always going to the physicians, we want to get their patients, but you said, no, go the opposite way, focus on everything else, maybe the physicians later if you can't get to them. So I think that's a very interesting conversation and hopefully provides good feedback for those who are trying to figure this out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Jake, I think you're kind of earning everybody's trust in your community. The community, I mean, that's genius. That's absolutely amazing because you're giving back to that community and letting them know, hey, research is an option. Don't be scared of it. I mean, obviously, especially because we have such a bad reputation as an industry, right? Pharmaceutical, nobody trusts, or the majority people don't do that. And then you're earning back that in your community. So it's, I mean, absolutely amazing. And like as Sandy's mentioning that about the pharmacists who are willing to bring more patients to clinical research. This could be a separate topic, but was also thinking reaching out to community pharmacists. I actually did that, and it was successful. Now this pharmacy is open to provide the advertisement in the paper box, talking about research. So I mean,
Right.
like you say, opening the different directions is the way to go, right? Especially that,
Mhm.
I mean, taking advantage that everybody learn about research, the whole world learn about research through COVID. This is the right time to open more that box and be more creative. And I am absolutely mind blowing with your strategies, and this makes me want to go and write down everything,
Oh,
everything you can
like,
think of
yeah.
on how to reach out to the community.
Mhm. Yeah, like phase 3 or 4, anything oral. I think this can be done through pharmacists. They have a medical condition history of the patient, so maybe they can attract more patients for the sites. I don't know. There could be. I could see that there could be some collaboration between the sites and the pharmacy. Yeah, so just an idea. Uh, maybe pharmacists can help bringing more patients.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is Adrian. I just wanted to say, first of all, I hope my audio is working today. I've had some trouble with it, but I've known Jade now for almost a year. We started to, well, we connected first of all through LinkedIn, and first of all, her energy, her passion, and really her commitment to her, community and her patients was actually what brought me, into her sphere. Very much appreciative of all the things that she's done, and her going out into the community, and every time trying to connect with her, if I wasn't able to connect, it was always because she was at a food bank or doing something else equally as impressive in the community. So I'm joined this evening really to show my support. Although I'm in Canada and our healthcare systems are a little bit different, so I'm not always able to provide the kind of support that I would like to, but obviously have put her always in touch with anyone in my network that can help her. But my question really is this. Now that you're more experienced, if you were to give advice to someone who's starting out, what would be your first, let's say, main 2 points or 3 points that you would give to someone who is, again, in where you were, let's say 2 years ago, and how to do this, I guess, better or more efficiently?
Insight would do community outreach, make sure that you get to know your area before you start that journey in your site. I think that spending the money or yourself into getting to know the community, making sure that you this the that know you, get to know them before you can even start thinking if there are doctors, talk to your own doctor, talk to your children's doctor, see if there's doctors that are in the place where they can refer patients to you without getting in trouble, or that are willing to do that for you. Go to daycares like I did, visit your community. You're going to be in that community for a very long time. Visit your community. Do those types of footwork before you get into it, because once you have a lease in a place and you start that process, it's a lot of money you're going to spend. Okay, in West Palm Beach, the lease had to be for 3 years. It couldn't be a year. So, and the investors went into the lease without even going to the community just to see what we had around. I had to work with what I had. And I'm not even from West Palm Beach. And now I am known in West Palm Beach. I'm 2 hours away from West Palm Beach. But now my home is West Palm. But everyone knows me in West Palm. You know, I have a huge outreach program that loves me in West Palm. And I know that I can do that anywhere that I go and everywhere that I'm at. However, if you are able and you're the owner of the site, make sure that you have a community that that's willing to work with you before spending the money in the site, because you're there for a while. Building the community and building the research, building the referral system is going to be the best thing that you can do. Because I noticed that when I did the feasibility, the only way they were contacting me is because I had more than 6,000 patients on with community services. And in the feasibility, I would put that and they would immediately call me. And we weren't awarded the study because, of course, the PI was not experienced.
Hey, Jade, I had a question for you. So first I wanted to say, it's funny, about a year ago, Jade reached out to me and she said, oh my gosh, I saw you on Dan Cifera's video. And so as a result, I met Jade because of Dan Cifera. So one of the things I can say is what you're learning here about a local community effort is just as important as doing it online. The community online is rich, it's giving, and it cares about you, but you have to be present. You have to be part of it. My question for you, and this is something that's always hit me hard, is you are an absolute unicorn. What you do is amazing. How do you think that sites could possibly scale the amazing efforts that you do on a community level? How can we replicate this?
I think that we are a community ourselves. You know, we're with each other and we have to be with each other in order for us to grow enough for sponsors to say, hey, that's the community I want. You know, when we're together, we come up with this. You know, you're going in February. This is a huge thing that you've created. You created a platform for these ideas to come to one single place where everyone is going to learn. Knowledge is key. There's going to be doctors there. There's going to be all types of anyone that is willing to learn and wanting to get some type of important solution to whatever issue, whatever problem, or whatever challenge they're going through. I had a challenge. I was the only person in that site, building that site, doing everything for that site. And I still went out Tuesdays and Fridays, and I still was active in LinkedIn because I met so many people through LinkedIn. Dan was the one that in his book, it said once a week, every week you have to be there. You have to go out. You have to network. You know, you have to also go into the pipelines of the CROs. You have to make sure that you're in there trying to get your site known. You know, so I don't think I slept much.
Oh my God, this is amazing, Jade.
I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Judy.
No, go ahead.
Well, I guess since we're kind of getting to time, what I really felt like we had Moises, he had a question. And I thought this is really, really good because obviously, Jade, you have a really great personality. Not everybody is very, community-based in regards to communication-wise and all that. And that's perfectly fine because everybody can really kind of hone in and do their part. This question was for someone who might not be as outgoing to go to communities, how would someone support these ongoing efforts behind the scenes? This is important, right? Because everybody can play a part. How can those people play a role?
For someone that's not outgoing,
that doesn't necessarily do well with, outside communication, where they're very vocal or, they're just not as talkative, right?
You know what? I have so many ideas now that I did this for such a long time, and I will make the site that I'm going to help in January. I will make them a site that we will do food distribution. I will link them with a food distribution, and they will Friday afternoon, they'll put on their shirt, they'll be out there. I will get the news out. Whatever I have to do, I will do it, because I'm not only taking care of a site, I'm also providing to those who need food. There's so many people out here that can't afford to buy groceries. I'm also doing that as well, reaching out. When you do that and you're a site and you reach out and you do and you go to a local pantry and they always need helping hands. These are nonprofit, they don't pay people, so they're always in need of a helping hand. You don't have to be a talkative person. Let me tell you, I was very, very nervous about this webinar today, and I reached out to my LG. That's my lifeguard. I call him LG, Dr. Fox, and he was like, I know why you're calling me, because you are nervous. And I was, but I truly, truly think that you don't have to be an outreach person. You don't have to have that type of personality. You could go to a food bank and you can volunteer, or you can have one of your workers on Tuesday volunteer in a place. She's going to get to know people. You're going to build a relationship. Once you build a relationship, you're outstanding. You are in there. You're in the community already. Okay? Because it's big, but small, because everyone knows each other. So that food bank will tell another person that you're available. Who knows if you can just have it half a day and have your workers go and volunteer in the afternoons in a food pantry or wherever they need it. So outreach is not, don't ever think that you cannot do outreach. Everyone can, and everyone should.
That's a good idea with the food bank.
Yeah.
Learned this. I have a coordinator. Her mom owns a restaurant. So after she works, she goes to the restaurant, and she was wearing her shirt because she didn't have time to change. She had like 5 people asking her, well, what studies do you have? What is a study? So then we sponsor the restaurant. We paid like a monthly fee, and we're sponsoring, so the staff knows how to give flyers to people. So it works, and you don't have to be outgoing. I mean, she's not outgoing. It's just, I think the t-shirt is the hack. Like, what is that? And if they start talking, it's a lot easier than you initiating the conversation. So I think there's a lot to that.
For sure. And if you can also help people, I mean, especially right now in this economy, any little dollar that people can make, you're helping them, you're helping their families, putting some extra cash in their pocket, and all they have to do is talk. I mean, if people could do that, I mean, and I'm assuming CRO sponsors, they provide allocation for recruitment. I mean, utilize that money for that. Put it back into the community, literally in people's pockets, and it'll give back. You know what I mean? I really love that idea. And there's so many events out there nowadays, especially if you're in a big city. I know in the rural areas, not probably not as much, but there's already events happening, right? As far as like smaller conferences, small little health fairs, and then also even just holiday events, you know, get a booth, you know, give things out for free at an event. People want to take stuff away, right? So, I mean, there's just so many things out there you could do. And I love that we had this webinar. I love the conversation you sparked, Jade. I really happy we were able to get this information out to everybody. And obviously there's just so much more to talk about, but this was great.
Yeah, Jade, I think we're going to have number 2 Jade presentation.
Yes, follow up.
I'll have my own booth. In
Yes, please.
For sure. Awesome.
With t-shirts.
Yeah.
With t-shirt giveaway.
With t-shirts, yes.
Well, we're coming to time, you guys, but I do want to use this opportunity to, if everybody can understand, right, just from today, we learned the importance of giving people platform to speak, to share their solutions, their experiences. This is so important, and this is honestly what we're standing for. LICR, we partnered with Save Our Sites Conference because this is the things we want to do. We want to bring these kinds of solutions to the forefront because this is not what's being discussed enough. And these are the things that sites need, and they need that to flourish. The CROs and sponsors need to flourish, whether they realize it or not, and the patients need it, right? And so if you can, please attend. It's our first one. Obviously, we are not going to do it virtual, right? Because that takes a bit of time, money, and effort. May in the future for sure, but this one, it's going to be in person. It's going to be in Tucson, Arizona. It's going to be in February 4th, right, Dan? 2024?
February 2nd.
Sorry, February 2nd. My bad.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
it's
so
Groundhog Day.
please, yeah, please, you guys, come join if you can. The location is cheap. Everything we chose about it was very, very affordable because we wanted it to be possible for everybody to come. We're all going to be there. We want to meet you in person if possible, speak to you. We're obviously going to have an event afterwards too, or not an event, but like a meetup to just hang out, you know, outside of just conversing. So please, you know, come. We really want to meet our supporters, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have these platforms. We wouldn't have the voices speaking out for LICR, for the patients, for all the work that we're doing, and the work that ultimately, you know, has a domino effect. Everybody here, just being here today, you're more than likely going to take this information, you're going to share it somewhere down the road. You're going to make an impression on somebody's life, whether it's today, this week, next month, or this year. Exactly. You know, please share it. Yes. Oh my God. And we will definitely have you back on, Jade. We definitely will have you back on for sure. But before, I guess we give any closeouts, you guys, did you have anything else you wanted to share before we, you know, close it for the day?
No, I just want to say thank you, Jade, for your time today and sharing your all this information. So looking forward to hopefully seeing you in person next year.
You can reach out to me and I can give you, I can help you, whatever you need me to do. I am there to guide anyone. It's not a secret what I do, you know, so I'm not a chef with a secret sauce. Okay.
We're gonna definitely
well, you got some creative sauce in there for sure. You got some creative sauce.
Yes. We love your recipes.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Actually, Jade, can you put your LinkedIn? Yeah, put it in the chat real quick. We want to get you connected with everybody here if they want to reach out to you.
And we'll also put it with the video, correct?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when we post.
Awesome.
Right, when we post it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Sorry, did somebody?
Thank you so much for having me. Get in touch with me. I'll give you ideas. I'll help you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Oh, yeah, sorry. Somebody.
Was it Dr. Al? Was that you?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey,
no, just want to say thank you, Jed, because I already sent her a message through LinkedIn just to connect with her and see what we Can
There
do.
you
Thank
go.
you.
Awesome.
Good. Great.
Dr.
Thank
Al, we
you.
miss you.
Dr. Al, you're on the panel at
Yeah,
SOS, the last panel.
yeah.
PI
Okay.
oversight.
With me.
You know, and
By the way,
and you guys my inspiration for research. Okay.
No.
And Chris,
Oh,
Monica, Judy, Ashley, all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Al. Awesome. Well, thanks, you guys. Y'all have a great night, and we'll be announcing our next speaker very soon. And we hope to continue to bring you really great speakers. So thank you, guys. You have an awesome night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.